In September, I spoke with Michael Simmons, Assistant Fire Marshal for Dallas County, and he said to me that he believes there's a fire cover-up going on in Texas. I then spoke with Bobby Reed in Dallas, who was a troubleshooter for Encore Electric, and he was terminated from his job with Encore Electric in Dallas after testifying about smart meters. He said that in 2013 they terminated him for giving so-called false testimony, and said that he had no evidence of these meters causing fires. He said at the time they hired a bunch of young folks to install smart meters from 2008 to 2012. When the call center would dispatch him, he would go to the houses and troubleshoot the meter. He would trace the problem back to the meter. Anytime he'd go to a person's house, it might be partial power. It would be routine to go to the meters first. He started noticing that a lot of the tickets he was getting, the lugs were heating up, burning up. He's seen them completely burned up. There were 2 at his trial that came from Houston that were badly burned. He went to trial to file an unfair labor practice after he was fired. He's still a union rep. He lost his job at the power company. Union reps go on leave of absence, and he's an elected position. His retirement ceased to accrue. He told me about Arlington and Lancaster fires. He gave me Michael Simmons' name in the Dallas County Fire Marshal's office. He installed the smart meters and noticed the meter bases were heating up a lot, loose connections. Encore has had lawsuits for fires, 2 in Arlington. They were settled out of court, so it won't show up. Michael Simmons, Dallas County Assistant Fire Marshal, testified in his hearing, and he was aware of the 2 other fires. So, I mean, this is going to be happening with all old houses, with all old wiring. It's a huge risk. So I just want you to be aware of that and look into it before you allow the rollout to continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rouse. Mark Paris. Mr. Paris, are you here? If not, Kristen Hines.
Hello to the City Council members present today who remain here in this chamber to listen to the grievances of your constituents, the very people who put you here to represent us. My name is Kristen Hines. My husband is here with me, John Hines back there. We are in Councilman Cryer's District number 9. And I'm here to discuss the matter of the CPS so-called Smart Meter Initiative, which they want we ratepayers to think it is mandated by law that all citizens in the CPS service area must, on threat of punishment, and that's the fee that they put on top of what we have to pay, to follow their dictates of accepting and receiving installation on our property the ever-pulsating and radiation, gas and electricity, smart meters, and or the other so-called opt-out substitutes, which are also electrically operated and also pulsating radiation 24/7. A smart meter is actually not lawfully mandated. In reality, the law of the state of Texas is only an opt-in law, meaning that utility customers must request the type of meter that they want. They're not. So CPS is now following an agenda that is disobeying that law. They are instead coercing people, and CPS is only offering an opt-out rather than an opt-in agenda. The actual opt-in law does not allow for the punishment of a so-called fee for not opting in to the smart meter agenda. We at our home are cancer survivors, and we've had enough radiation thrown at us to last an eternity. We don't want, desire, or need, against our will no less, any more radiation. It's bad enough that a radiation from a smart meter attached to our exterior garage wall would pulsate into our house, but it would be even closer to our neighbors' bedrooms where they sleep every night, the adults and children. And that's on the left side of the house. The right side of our house, the house next to us on the other side, their meter is within feet of where we lay our head every night. This is not a good situation. And unless I'm mistaken, all of you, including Mr. Cryer, sir, you have already been apprised of the dangers health-wise and otherwise. Can I have my husband's 3 minutes, please? John Hines. Sir? Okay.
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So you know about these meters, and I call them smart element meters because they're too smart for their own good and for the good and the health and welfare of us who are supposed to be benefiting from them. Now, I am personally in the process of notifying CPS Energy of my non-compliance and complete opt-out rejection. This is the form that I filled out. It's their form, but I've changed it and initialed it. So it's my form now. And I'll be submitting that tomorrow. And I'm rejecting all their electric EMF, that's electromagnetic frequency, radiation pulsing meters, including the CPS smart meter and any of its substitutes, including the AMI, the OMR, which is also the ERT, and all digital electronic meters. I don't know if you know, but electronic meters are all pulsating radiation meters. The only kind of meter that we will accept to be installed in our home is the kind of mechanically, efficiently, and durable analog meters, which is what we have now. For all the reasons, the so-called benefits of this massive switch out to radiation pulsing meters and from the benign, ever-enduring, and safe analog meters, and those analogs don't cause fires. They last forever, etc., etc. But all these benefits on this little flyer that CPS brought out, these do not outweigh the undesirable and non-beneficial aspects of these smart meters, and you must already know what these disadvantageous and unfavorable aspects are. Number one, smart meters are up to 4 times more expensive to purchase. They last only a fraction of the lifespan of analogs. You know that because how many times have they changed out your analog meter in your where you live or work? They are dangerous for many reasons, which Nikki's already talked about. Foremost is that they're known to cause fires and they're known to cause the loss of life and property. They're also the lifeblood of the muchly publicized crowd about grid. The grid! You know, former CIA Director James Woolsey says that the smart grid security vulnerabilities make it a quote, really, really stupid grid. So he says it's a stupid idea and can't be protected. So I've given you 4 reasons. Can I have a minute from anybody? No? Okay, a minute? Okay, please, thank you.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Mr. Smith, you're relinquishing your time to her?
Half a minute. So this is what I want you to get on CPS tail to do. You need to stop this. It's not lawful anyway, the way they're doing it. Stop the initiative immediately and put a moratorium of 1 or more years on the installation so you'll have time to investigate all this stuff. If you don't believe it now, investigate it yourself. You'll find out. It's you and your children we're talking about. Otherwise, what will happen? A horrible life, a property-destroying fire, perhaps a lawsuit against the city, county, and CPS. You know, we don't need ISIS on our tail now when we have radiation-zapping machines. So thank you very much for listening, and you look very much like you're listening, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Hines. Sylvia Villarreal, George Alejos, who will be followed by Ben Garrison. Mr. Alejos.
Good evening, Mr. Cryer, members of the City Council. My name is George Alejos. I'm with LULAC, Council 4283, otherwise known as Los Zapatistas. Mr. Garza, by the way, is not here this evening. He had an emergency, so he couldn't make it, so I'll limit myself to 3 minutes. I'll first begin my comments like the previous speakers about my opposition to smart meters. Now, the old adage, you don't fix what ain't broke, applies here. The analog meters are doing a good job, and they've done jobs for the past last decades. There's no reason to change it. The smart meters have a history of causing a lot of problems, and I have reason to believe that allowing CPS Energy to continue installing these meters is not in the best interest of the citizens of San Antonio. I'm starting to get calls from low-income families that I interact with on a daily basis, namely Section 8 families that are with the San Antonio Housing Authority, whose bills are doubling to the extent that they are now facing being terminated from housing because they have their bills are so exorbitant that the utilities are being shut off, and that's a condition of remaining in the program. So when I have low-income families come to me and say that we need your help because we cannot afford the bills that we're getting billed for, that's a cause for concern. And a lot of those people have had their meters changed without their permission. Now, I, as a property manager and as a property owner, have been told that neither the owners nor the property managers can request the meters not to be replaced. It has to be the account holder. But a lot of these low-income families are not educated in the ways to do that, so they allow those meters to be replaced without knowing about it until they see their bills double. A lot of those are in District 4 and in District 3. And I can put those constituents in contact with you, Councilwoman Villagrán and Councilman Saldana. But that's all over the city. I'm not concerned about District 7, 8, 9, or 10 because they're the most affluent locations in San Antonio. I'm concerned about the poorer sides of the city. The south side, the west side, the east side. Those are the people that I'm concerned about. Now, the other thing I want to discuss this evening is about council pay. While I'm not against it, I will say that if you all expect to get paid a monthly salary, you must promise us that you'll be here from 8 to 5, just like any other job. I don't want to hear that you expect to get paid a salary and be here 2 hours out of the week and let your staff run your office. That's not what we want. You want to get serious about getting paid, then be here from 8 to 5, 5 days a week. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lanos. Ben Garza.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Pryor, and all the city council members, and all our citizens that are here to participate in our governance tonight. Thank you for coming. I want to echo my concern about the smart meters, which I did help circulate a petition to have that as a charter amendment so that we wouldn't have to pay a fee to opt out, because we think the older meters are much safer and less threat to our health. Also, I want to mention House Senate Bill 185. I don't know if you've heard about this. This is the old Senate bill about sanctuary cities, evidently reintroduced, and we want the city of San Antonio to consider passing something to let the Texas legislature.
Okay, all right, thanks, appreciate it.
Something to let the Texas legislature know that we are not interested in Senate Bill 185, and we don't want to turn San Antonio into a stop and look at your paper city. And we would like to, believe that here in San Antonio, we offer the best of America, and we offer the opportunity for people around the world. And we certainly want to offer that opportunity for people south of the border as well. And we're proud of our heritage here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Our next speaker is